marry Mrs. Fox.
Yeah. Very well, Mrs. Fox. I'll call round tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock. Yes. And you can rest assured that anything you say to me will be treated with the strictest confidence. All right. Goodbye. Come in. Oh, it's you, Wilson.
Yes.
Are the men gone?
Yes, sir, they have. Did you want them?
No, I didn't, but I did want to speak to you again about Jones.
Oh, yes, he is still rather excitable, isn't he? You would have thought he might have calmed down after a week.
Do you think I'm doing the right thing in letting him go ahead with this?
Well, you have no authority to do anything else.
On the other hand, it may work out all right, you know. After all, they're both the same class.
Yes. Do you really think class matters?
Oh, no question about it at all. Families that make the trouble. I had to contend with all sorts of snobbish rubbish when I married Elizabeth.
Did you, as it were, marry beneath you?
Oh, no. No, the family rather thought that she did.
Oh.
She's very well connected, you know, Elizabeth. Her father was the suffragan Bishop of Clagthorpe.
Oh. Was he really?
Led a very sheltered life, you know, Elizabeth. Very funny. Do you know she hadn't even tried tomato sauce before she met me? I soon put that right.
You know, marrying you must have opened up a whole new world for her.
Oh, yes, I think it did. But I never felt at ease with her parents, you know. Always got the impression they were looking down their noses at me. Yeah, this was even after I'd become assistant manager.
Oh, weren't they impressed by that?
Oh, not a bit. It was quite a big branch, too, you know. I had my own partitioned cubicle.
Did you?
Still, Jones and Mrs. Fox won't be bothered with things like that, will they? Mrs. Fox has asked me to go around and see her, you know. If it's a question of advice, I shall be non-committal. Let no man put asunder, eh, Wilson?
Yes, quite right, sir. Marriage falls asunder quite easily anyway, doesn't it?
Oh, no. Not in my case. I've had a very happy marriage. Very happy indeed. Well, that's all.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
It is open, just give it a push.
Mrs. Fox? Mrs. Fox?
Oh, hello, Captain Mannering. My goodness, it's not 6 o'clock already, is it?
6:02, to be precise.
Oh, my clock stopped again. I am sorry. Anyway, make yourself at home. I won't be a second. I'll leave the door open so we can keep on talking while I'm getting dressed.
Look, I'll come back in 5 minutes.
Oh, no. Oh, please don't go. I'm perfectly decent underneath.
Oh, I'm quite sure you are.
Please sit down. Please.
Oh, very well.
There. I hope you don't mind coming to my little nest. It's humble, but it's all mine. I wanted a few moments alone with you before the others arrive.
The others? What others?
Oh, Mrs. Pike and Mr. Wilson.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness, I've got a catch. Do you think that'll run?
I don't know, I'm sure.
Would you mind awfully if I didn't put them on?
Not in the least.
Well, I think a lady... I don't like to see a lady with bare legs, and, well, I think a ladder looks even more abandoned. Don't you?
Yes, I'm sure you're right.
I expect you're wondering what's on my mind.
Yes, I am.
Well, you see, it's like this, Mr. Mannering. I've always had what you might call a soft spot for you. And I've had a very high regard for you as well. Oh, dear. I'm not expressing myself very well, am I? Oh. Mr. Mannering.
Yeah?
You don't want me to beat about the bush, do you?
Well, I'm not quite sure.
Well, you see, I haven't got a father. In fact, I've no male relations whatsoever. You wouldn't give me away, would you?
Wouldn't I?
At the wedding?
Oh, at the wedding. Oh, I see what you mean, yes. Ah, well, yes, of course, if you wish me to.
Oh, Mr. Mannering. Oh, you are a darling. Oh, you've no idea what a weight that is off my mind.
Look, I think I'll go and come back when the others are due to arrive.
Oh, come in, Mrs. Pike. Come along in, Arthur. Come in, Frank.
Good evening, Mrs. Fox.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening, Mrs. Fox.
Oh, good evening, dear.
Take your hat off, Frank. Where are your manners?
You're here early, Mr. Mannering?
No, I was punctual for my appointment.
Mr. Manning practically caught me in the bath.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration.
I hope you don't mind me bringing Frank, but we don't like to leave him on his own when there's a war on.
Do we, Arthur?
What? Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Take your scarf off. There are so very many funny people about. That's right, dear.
Mum, what could funny people do to me if they found me on my own in wartime?
Never you mind.
Come in, Jack.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, don't move. Don't move. I want to remember you just standing there. Isn't he lovely?
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, you're dead on time, Jonesy.
Yeah, Mr. Mannering was here first. Had to help Mrs. Fox out the bath.
It was all quite innocent, wasn't it, Mr. Mannering?
Oh, totally innocent, totally.
Well, now Jack's here, I think we can start. Will you all please sit down?
Yes. Come and sit down, Arthur.
All right, thank you.
Sit down, Frank.
Over here.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Sit down, boy, sit down.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm very happy to announce that Mr. Mannering is going to give me away.
Oh, very nice.
Frank, give over, dear.
And Mrs. Pike has kindly consented to be matron of honour.
Yeah. And Mr. Wilson's going to be best man.
You're going to be best man?
Yes, that's right, I am, yes.
I hope you write everything down, otherwise you'll forget it.
Oh, naturally, we won't be having a white wedding.
Why not?
There's a war on.
Now, the bride and the matron of honour will be in turquoise. Now, what about the men?
Well, I'm going to be wearing my regimental regalia with medals.
Oh, that's very nice. I think all the men should be in uniform.
With medals.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
No, you see, because Mr. Mannering and me haven't got any medals, have we?
Arthur has.
It's got nothing at all to do with it. I just think people are getting tired of uniform.
Oh, I don't agree. Let's put it to the vote. Now, hands up for uniform and medals.
Put your hand down, boy, you know that.
Still seem to be outvoted.
Well, that's settled then. Now, the flowers.
Yeah, Mildred, can't you get out the bath on your own?
Do I want to be with you? Right, everything's in order in the church. I've checked it myself. Wilson's job, really, of course, but you can't rely on him.
Hello, Napoleon. I'm just off to the church. Everything under control, is it?
Of course. I didn't know you'd been invited.
Of course I've been invited. I'm a friend of the bride.
Mannering, all the guests are ready in church. Don't you think Mr. Jones should get in there as well? It's 5-2.
5-2?
Yes.
Is it so late? Jones!
There's no sign of Mr. Wilson yet, and I'm getting myself in a state. Is it bad luck when the best man doesn't turn up?
It's damned inconvenient. Yeah. You better get over to the church.
It's all right, Mr. Jones. He'll be here all right. He was ready when I left. Only, you see, he was rude to Mum, so she's had to put him in his place.
church, Mr. Jones. The bride will be here any second. We don't want you meeting before the ceremony, do we?
No, we don't want that, do we? Now, that is a bad omen. That is a bad omen.
Mr. Jones, come on, church.
Oh, yes, right.
Remember, I want a clear understanding. No confetti.
Yes, I think we understand that, Mr. Gateman. Thank you very much.
I'm terribly sorry if I'm a little bit late.
I should jolly well think you are. Where have you been? What's all this?
I know, I'm awfully sorry, sir, but you see, Mavis, Mrs. Pike insisted. I'm wearing my uniform from the First World War. She found it in an old tin trunk.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have dreamt of putting it on, but, I mean, she'd hidden my trousers.
An officer's uniform?
Yeah, that's right. I was an officer.
You never told me.
Well, you didn't ask me. Anyway, it was unimportant.
These pips denote the rank of captain.
Yes, that's right. I was a captain.
Well, I'm blessed. Doesn't count for anything now, you know.